Hey everybody, this is Hayden Wilkes. This is my final video for this class. It's been a really enjoyable class, and so my topic that I'm going to talk about today is mutual intelligibility. So mutual intelligibility is the ability of two or more people to understand each other. When mutual intelligibility fails, and there's an issue of understanding between members of a group, it is said that a new language has been created. A breakdown of mutual intelligibility may qualify the Mexican dialect of Spanglish as a separate language from that of English or Spanish. Spanglish is usually spoken amongst fairly recent immigrant families from Mexico or Guatemala, in which members of the family speak primarily in Spanish, but they also use lots of English words that they have acquired either from attending an English-speaking school or just being exposed to so many English speakers here in the United States. This addition of so much foreign vocabulary could very much negatively alter the way that Spanglish speakers communicate with other Latinos and even other Mexicans or Guatemalans. Some examples of this usage are que cool. So the word que in Spanish means like, oh, how, basically it's saying how cool, but using the word que instead of how. Also, a lot of new wave words have popped up, such as googlear, which is the verb to mean to Google in Spanish. Or if you want to say to tweet in Spanish, you say tuitear. So they've just taken a lot of English words and added the ER. So like I said earlier, I'm currently in Denver, Colorado, and this city has taken some amazing steps in order to provide a place where mutual intelligibility can flourish, even in the case of traditional language barriers. There's a very large Latin community here in Denver. I have been in many places during my stay here, including, but not limited to, the Denver Art Museum, a Goodwill outlet store, which, yes, you heard that right. It's basically a Goodwill store that gives you 70% off of normal Goodwill prices. I've also been in a Walmart. I've been in, what else? Oh, and I also traveled all throughout the city by way of public transportation. So, of all of these places and everywhere else that I couldn't think of that I've been in, everywhere has had bilingual signage. So everything has been in English and Spanish, not just one or the other. And that's great. That's such a good example. Also, all of the announcements made on buses or trains were all in English and Spanish. This is such a great example of how to include all cultures, or at least the most dominant cultures, in a huge city such as Denver, Colorado. So I've got a few photos I'm going to show. Here is just an image of some guides that I received at the art museum. So you can see that there's this complete Spanish version, and I collected that one since yo hablo español. And then here's an example of some wall, a quote on the wall, and it's really small, but you can kind of see the two languages set there, definitely bilingual. So that's provided throughout the entire museum. Also, I bought a Spanish edition Scrabble at the Goodwill store. So it's just such a melting pot here in Denver. But anyways, that's what I wanted to talk about, mutual intelligibility and ways to prevent that, or ways to exceed that, make it more prominent. So thanks, guys.